Boom. Alright, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about the little bouncy bounce that we are currently seeing in Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets. Things are feeling a little more exciting, a little more optimistic, but I'm here once again to rain on the parade because I'm still bearish, unfortunately. Want to remind you guys, always have to remind you guys if you haven't heard this before, but little disclaimer, I'm still a bull long term, all right? I still believe in the fundamental prospects of Bitcoin, Ether, many of the Bitcoin miners and cryptocurrency companies that we've talked about here on the channel. But as a trader who is trying to optimize gains, my responsibility is to think as rationally as I can and make the most rational decisions I can with the database, or data set, I should say, that is currently available to me. And right now, the technicals and fundamentals feel bearish, therefore I'm bearish, and I will go on to do my best to kind of rationalize this bearish sentiment for you today as we dive into the charts. All right, so let's get into it. We'll quickly go over the names that we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive in, kicking it off with who else but the king. But Bitcoin, always got to kick it off with the big dog, you guys. Of course, the price action of Bitcoin will always have some semblance of impact or somewhat of an impact on the price action of the entirety of the cryptocurrency markets, especially some of the Bitcoin miners we're going to be talking about today. So, kicking it off with Bitcoin, you guys know what we're looking at right now, and I'm sure you can assume why I'm short-term bearish. So, we'll kick it off with Bitcoin on the charts, move on to Ethereum. Got to talk about Ether as well. Ether is seeing a little more positive price action than Bitcoin over the course of the past 24 hours. Once again, above 3K. But as we dive into Ether, it'll make sense to you why I'm bearish on that. Also, you guys know I love Ether. Bought my first stack of Ether back when it was 36 bucks. I thank Ether for a good amount of my current net worth, in all honesty. So I love Ether. I believe in the project. I believe in ETH 2.0 once again. Believe in the long term of Ether. I think it'll be over 10K one day easy. But short term, we got to see a correction, and honestly, I'm pumped to see some of the downside price targets. Of course, if we see them, but I'm pretty confident. I'm pumped to see some of the downside price targets that I've set for Ether come to fruition because my bags are ready, and I got some dry powder ready to roll. Okay, so those are the only two cryptos we're going to be looking at today, but we will touch on the miners, kicking off with good old Riot Blockchain, move on to Mara or Marathon Digital, and then close it out with BITF or Bitfarms. All right, and obviously, you guys, if I'm bearish on Bitcoin, I'm bearish on all of these, of course, as well. But today we are focusing on downside price targets and where I'm comfortable personally accumulating my long positions for some of these Bitcoin miners, all right? Before we dive into the charts, got to read through the intro to this morning's newsletter. Slow down a little bit. Last day of September, you guys, moving into October, and I just feel it's important to give you guys my thoughts on during actual trading hours of the last day of the month. Jeez, man, it's Thursday, and it's the last day of September. Wave Sam, we're definitely not closing out the month with the same bang that we did in August. Can thank SPRT for an absolute banger in the month of August. So unfortunately, didn't close out the month as strong as we did August, but hey, there's always another month. That's what October's for, all right? September was a tough read, but with each day that passes, more clarity is provided. I'm creeping into spooky season, heavily hedged, but you guys know there's always a bull market out there. As you guys know, just show you my trade, a little sneak peek there. As you guys know, the crypto market is ripping today. I'm still bearish though. That statement will make more sense when we dive into the charts. That was in part 2, but we're diving into the charts right now. Before we do that, as always, if you guys do go on to gain value from this video, if you guys agree with my bearish sentiment, even if you disagree, let me know in the comments down below. But please give the video a like if you're watching it. Really appreciate that. If for some reason you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here or just not subscribed, want to catch more content like this. And of course, if you want to know exactly when I'm picking up all the plays we're talking about today, exactly how I'm structuring my buying, exactly what positions, what calls I might get on these once they hit my downside price targets, along with everything that I'm bullish on right now. Hedges and EVs primarily. A lot of you would know that. If you want to know exactly what my entire personal portfolio is comprised of, because that's exactly what it is, first link down below, 15 bucks a month or 40 bucks for every 3 months. Once again, first link downstairs. You get a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio every single trading day. I do update that during market hours. And along with every update, I send out one of these bad boys explaining my thoughts, rationalizing my trades, and again, also throw a few charts and real-time price targets in there. Anything I think is important to share with you guys during trading hours, I throw it in the newsletter. All right, so again, first link down below means a lot if you guys check that out. But if not, as always, no worries. I appreciate your attention right now. I was going to say, yo, eyeballs right here, right now, which is the same thing as attention. But let's dive into the charts, you guys. Bitcoin is in a very, very evident and very visible descending channel. These big old orange lines right here. And just today, we finally came up to test the top side of this ascending channel descending channel, ascending channel, the good twin brother. The evil twin brother of the ascending channel. The descending channel was just tested. The line of resistance, I should say. Okay, resistance. The line of resistance was tested for the first time just earlier today as we close out this month for the first time since the middle of the month a couple of weeks back. Okay. So I figured it was only a matter of time before we ended up testing. This went sideways. I mean, we've seen a lot of volatility lately, but honestly, it's been a lot of sideways price action for the most part for the past couple of weeks now. But I do remain bearish. I think now that we've tested the top side of resistance on this descending channel, although there is a strong base here, a strong base around 40K, like 45, there is a strong base here. Okay, we bottomed out around this area multiple times over here over the past couple of weeks. So this is a strong floor. This is pretty significant support. But because I am bearish, as many of you guys know as well, on the greater equity markets, on the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, I remain bearish on Bitcoin and for all the macro reasons that we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks that I'm not going to regurgitate once again. Okay, so bearish from a macro perspective, fundamental perspective, obviously same thing. Bearish from a technical perspective as well. So we're moving down here. Also, the US dollar is strong. Bitcoin is viewed as the king of inflation hedges by many, including myself. Therefore, strong dollar, weak inflation hedges, Bitcoin, again, which many would argue is the king of inflation hedges, okay? So, again, descending channel right here, short term, I do think, I'm just calling it right now, October 6th is a week from today. I would not be surprised at all if we make our way down. Next week, I do think will be bloody as we kick off the month of October. I would not be surprised at all if we start to make our way down here. If the line of support on this descending channel is tested on October 6th, once again, a week from today, maybe it's October 7th, maybe it's October 8th. It's all dependent. My price targets are all dependent. If it's October 10th, my price target's 35K. Maybe it's a slow climb down. But because I'm bearish going into next week, tomorrow's Friday, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But bearish going into the month of October. Therefore, I believe we will see about 36K on the dot. October 6th. Again, you guys, this is all just my opinion. Could be completely wrong. But given once again, all of the data available to me at this moment in time, I'm feeling pretty confident. So that's Bitcoin. Let's move on to ETH, and then we'll quickly go through the miners and just talk downside price targets. So ETH, kind of similar story here, you guys. Descending channel, ETH has a little more room to climb, which I think is why it's seeing green and Bitcoin is currently seeing red. So ETH has a bit more room to climb when it comes to this descending channel right here. Pretty much trading sideways, but I do think that once this is tested, along with the fact that the NASDAQ is seeing a pullback, Ethereum and the NASDAQ a lot of the times are pretty closely correlated because they're both very technologically based. Because I'm bearish on NASDAQ, the triple Qs, I do think that will come over here. Maybe test the top side. Maybe Ether sees a very short-term run up to just under $3,100. But ultimately, I do expect more downside here. October 7th, October 6th. That would take us down to about $2,200 if we really start falling and test the line of support on this descending channel once again. So shortest term price target to the downside for ETH is 2200. Maybe next week, if the short term analysis does prove to be true, if these downside price targets are hit and we make our way down to the lines of support on these descending channels, next week I'll probably make another video covering Bitcoin and ETH on the daily candles and talk about my kind of overall price targets, which I did earlier this week. Actually, this is the last video I made, but again, just got to keep you guys posted. Things move fast, okay? So Riot blockchain, very, very bad looking chart. Unfortunately, you guys know I love Riot. Riot is one of the foundational layers of this channel, of Royce Jacob Waves Family YouTube channel. So sucks to be bearish on it, but that's a reality. Just want to let you guys know. I was just talking to someone in the Discord today or yesterday about why I don't short crypto, and it's straight up out of principle. Even if I'm bearish on crypto, even if I have pretty staggering downside price targets for plays like Riot and Mara, I don't short them because I love them, because they have a special place in my heart. So I will not short them, but I can be bearish on them and be ready to buy them once they reach my downside price targets. Downside price target for Riot, obviously, moving that back. Short term, I mean, Riot is in a staggering downtrend right here, very, very sharp downtrend. I was at 38 bucks at the beginning of the month, now sitting at about 25, 26 bucks. Staggering, I mean, nothing else to say here, but staggering short-term downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. Hate to see it, but I do think that I mean, if Bitcoin tanks, I wouldn't be surprised to see Riot tank as well. But I've been saying this for a long time, you guys. Ever since I kind of had the inclination that the crypto bull run from a shorter term perspective was over, my overall price target for Riot, and this kind of plays into the same narrative of Bitcoin, the reversion to the mean, or the revisiting of the initial high of the current rally. For Riot, that was about 15, 16 bucks. So if like, oh gosh darn it, let's move this guy. And then if we take this line of resistance on this very stark downtrend, and just cross that right here with just this initial high, which is this orange line that backtracks all the way to like December, maybe January. This would take us to October 26th. That would take us to a $15, $16 Riot. And I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility at all. And I'm actually super excited to hopefully see that come to fruition so I can bag up my Riot position once again and wait for Bitcoin to initiate the thrusters once again. Maybe it takes some time, but that's all right. Sometimes you got to be patient when you know you got a good thing going. Let's move on to Mara and close it out with BITF. So Mara, I mean, the first thing that I see right here, just at a glance that I didn't even draw, but you guys can see it too, is a pretty textbook head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, this is the base of the shoulder right here, so this will be my price target in the shortest term. That is the base of this left shoulder. So beginning on July 20th, kicking off this left shoulder, boom. I mean, you could say this is the base. This is technically the shoulder right here. So I do think that it's pretty inevitable, once again, because I'm bearish on Bitcoin, that Mara sees at least 28 bucks in the short term to play out this head and shoulders. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see this play out, a little sideways price action, and then ultimately make our way down to about 20 bucks to $20 to $21 to finalize this head and shoulders pattern. Mara, in all honesty, I do think will come down to about $14, $15. So downside price targets for Riot is 15 to 16 bucks. For Mara, it is going to be about 14 to 15 bucks just because they have more shares, their market cap is a little higher. And we all know that Riot and Mara tend to play catch up. I know all the arguments, more Bitcoin on the balance sheet, hash power, whatever argument you want to make. They always play catch up. That's how they roll, and I think that will play out as well. So my downside price target for Mara is going to be 14 to 15. Downside price target for Riot, 15 to 16. Close it out with Bitfarms. And for all of these, you guys, just look at previous levels of support and resistance, ceilings and floors, and those you'll likely see on the way down, on the ride down, some little bounces there, okay? So I'll close it out with Bitfarms, you guys. So Bitfarms is actually at a pretty, like, the area we're at is not good because we kind of broke in these initial highs right here, which I really don't like to see. And honestly, I just think we'll probably see a double bottom and match the low we saw back in July. Again, bearish on Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin rips. In that case, it's probably different. But in the case that we do see this pullback play out, would not surprise me at all. In the case that we see a 30, like if we see Bitcoin in the low 30s at some point, low to mid 30s, which again I think is very likely, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitfarms, especially in the case Riot, Mara, BITF, because these are equities. If the U.S. equity markets, S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, especially the NASDAQ and the S&P, if those continue to fall, a lot of times these Bitcoin miners are reflections of not only Bitcoin, but the equity markets as well. So if Bitcoin's down and the equity markets are down, then Riot and Mara are going to see Riot, Mara, Bitfarms, BTBT, which actually got smoked today. BTBT was down almost 9%, 10% at one point today. So that sucks. But bearish on all of these. I'm bearish on BTBT as well, especially after today. So I didn't really want to take a look at it. I didn't feel it was relevant. Actually, we'll take a look at it as well. Why not? But Bitfarms, downside price target for Bitfarms is going to be about $3. If we see a $3 Bitfarms, I'm definitely a buyer from a long-term perspective. BTBT, yeah. I mean, right now it's super, super, super likely to be that at this point we come down to about $4.30 for BTBT. Just set a double bottom over here. This is more around, actually, wow. So this is more, if we bottom out, this is actually right there. So that's actually about $4. So if we see a $4 BTBT, which again, after today, after that price action we saw today, and considering Bitcoin is bearish in my eyes, I would not be surprised at all if we see a $4 BTBT once again. And again, you guys, always got to keep up. Once these price targets are hit, I might not buy immediately. I might see how it plays out, because once we're in the true capitulation mode, I think Bitcoin will see around 25K. But I do think that it'll be eaten up fairly quickly, and that we will actually see true capitulation, which is sideways price action, in which the reaccumulation phase for the next cycle comes into play. I think that will occur around like 30 to 35K. So in that area, of course, depending on how the equity markets look as well, that's probably where I'll start accumulating. But again, if you guys want to know exactly when I'll be doing that, how I'll be doing that, how I'm structuring my portfolio, calls, everything, and what I'm trading now, because I'm bearish going into October and I'm heavily hedged. And again, I'm bullish on the EV sector. I'll be posting an EV green energy video tomorrow talking about some EV plays. And I do think, honestly, in this market environment, if there's one sector, given the infrastructure bill and everything and just cyclicals, I do think EVs and green energy have a good shot at weathering the storm. So stay tuned for that video. I will be posting in the morning. And of course, let me know what you guys think about my sentiment, my bearish sentiment. If you guys are sad about it, you can go cry in the comments. I don't care. Give me that engagement. But let me know what you guys think. If you agree, if you disagree, rationalize your opinion as to why that is. And let me know what you're most excited about buying once we see some of these, hopefully see some of these downside price targets. All right, so I'll catch you guys downstairs in the comments. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.